Okay, welcome to Spelling for Thursday, February 18th. All right, let's start with our poem, Washington. Okay, so turn in your spelling books to the poem and read along. The only people that would not necessarily have to turn to their poem are the ones that have already said it. But there are quite a few of you that still have not finished saying Washington or even started saying Washington. All right, Washington by Nancy Bird Turner. He played by the river when he was young. He raced with rabbits along the hills. He fished for minnows and climbed and swung and hooted back at the whippoorwills. Strong and slender and tall he grew, and then one morning the bugles blew. Over the hills the summons came, over the river's shining rim. He said that the bugles called his name. He knew that his country needed him, and he answered, "Coming!" and marched away for many a night and many a day. Perhaps when the marches were hot and long, he'd think of a river flowing by, or, camping under the winter sky, would hear the whippoorwill's far-off song. Boy or soldier, in peace or strife, he loved America all his life. February Twilight by Sarah Teasdale. I stood beside a hill smooth with new-laid snow. A single star looked out from the cold evening glow. There was no other creature that saw what I could see. I stood and watched the evening star as long as it watched me. Overheard in an Orchard by Elizabeth Cheney. Said the robin to the sparrow, I should really like to know why these anxious human beings rush about and worry so. Said the sparrow to the robin, Friend, I think that it must be that they have no heavenly Father such as cares for you and me. All right, now you need to turn to your list 22. And remember, for this list, we have the rule where we learned I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor and way. I'm just going to put EI because even in EIGH, it's the EI that's saying the A. And I think it was confusing you when I put EI and EIGH. Okay? So, I before E, except after C, or when sounding like A, as in neighbor or way. So, EI after a C, EI when it's saying A. All right, so let's begin. We're going to drill the words, and then you need to write the words. Okay, that was written in your assignment pad to write the words, plus that is what we do when we have virtual learning, because we can't play game or anything. Normally today would have been the pretest, but we can't give a pretest this way, so we'll just drill the words, and then you all need to write the words. All right, ceiling, C-E-I-L-I-N-G, ceiling. All right, therefore, after a C, so it's E-I. I before E, except after C. Ceiling is a C, so C-E-I. Okay? Receive, R-E-C-E-I-V-E. Receive. Again, the C and then E-I, because it's after a C. Receive, C-E-I. Then, receipt, R-E-C-E-I-P-T, receipt. All right. Again, it's after the C, so E-I, not I-E. I before E, except after C, then it's E-I. And also remember on the word receipt, there's a P in there. Before the T, there's a P, receipt, C-E-I-P-T. It's a silent P. All right. Next word, cried. C-R-I-E-D, cried. It's not after the C, it's after an R. Plus, the original word was cry, C-R-Y. Then when they add the E-D, they change the Y to an I to add the E-D. So, C-R-I-E-D, cried. Next word is replies, R-E-P-L-I-E-S, replies. Again, for this one, it's I before E because it's not after a C. and it's not sounding like A. So it is IE, but the original word was reply, REPLY. They changed the Y to an I to add the ES. Okay, next word. Brief, BRIEF, I before E. It's not after a C, and it's not sounding like A, so it's going to be I before E. Field, 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 I before E, because it's not after a C and it's not sounding like A. Niece, 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 I before E, because it's not after the C. It's got to be after the C to be the other way around. So NIECE, niece. Believe, BELIEVE, I before E, because it's not after a C. It needs to be after a C to be the other way around, or sounding like A. Believe is not sounding like the long A. Now we have one where it's sounding like A. Beige. The color is a light color of brown. Beige. 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 This time it is EI because it's sounding like the long A. EI. BEIGE. Beige. Okay? Then vein. The kind that are in your body. VEIN. Vein. Again, it is sounding like A, long A, so it's EI, VEIN. 8E, 80, EIGHTY, 8E. All right? Again, it's sounding like A, so EIGHT. That's how you spell number 8. And then add a Y because it's AT. All right? Neighbor, NEIGHBOR. Neighbor. Again, it is sounding like A, so it's EIGH, NEIGHBOR, NEIGHBOR, neighbor. Then we have sleigh, SLEIGH, sleigh. That's the kind you would ride in the snow. A one-horse open sleigh, like the song Jingle Bells. EI, because it's sounding like A, EIGH. Wait, WEIGHT, wait. All right, the rule is on sounding like A as in neighbor and way. Well, there we go, sounding like A, EIGH. But don't forget that T, because it's not just the word wait for a spelling word. It is actually the word weight. I mean, it's not just the word weigh for a spelling word. It's the word weight. What is your weight? Your weight is how much you weigh in pounds. All right? Weight. WEIGHT. All right? Next is fierce. 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 All right, so this time it's not after a C. It's not sounding like A, so we're going back to I before E because it's not after the C. Yes, there's a C in fierce, but the IE is before it. It's after an F. FIE. FIERCE. Fierce. All right, next is achieve. 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 Remember, words ending in V usually have another E after it, so don't forget that E. But again, it is IE because it's not after a C. Yes, there's a C there, but CH. So the IE is after an H, not after a C. Okay? ACHIEVE. Achieve. Let's do that one more time. Achieve. 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 Next word, retrieve. 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 I before E because it's not after a C and it's not sounding like A. Retrieve means to go and get something and bring it back. Retrieve. 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 All right, next word is peace. PIECE. Peace. Okay, again, it's I before E because it's not after the C. Yes, there is a C in the word peace, but it's IE before it, not after it. P-I-E-C-E. Another thing is, I've always told you the word peace here is got the word pie in it. P-I-E, pie, like a piece of pie. So remember, a piece of pie has the word pie in it. P-I-E-C-E, peace. All right, that brings us to our vocabulary words. The first vocabulary word is deceive. D-E-C-E-I-V-E, because it is after a C. D-E-C-E-I. I before E except after C. Then it's E-I. So deceive, D-E-C-E-I-V-E. Again, remember that V? There's going to be another E after it, right? And the definition is to cheat, trick, or mislead. To, T-O, cheat, C-H-E-A-T. Trick, T-R-I-C-K. Or, O-R, mislead, M-I-S-L-E-A-D. Mislead. Okay, remember I told you cheat and mislead both have E-A in it. Cheat, C-H-E-A-T. Mislead, M-I-S-L-E-A-D. Mislead. Conceited, C-O-N-C-E-I-T-E-D. Conceited. All right, I before E except after C. Conceit, C-O-N-C-E-I-T-E-D. Conceited, and it means proud. P-R-O-U-D. Proud. Then the next word is hygiene. H-Y-G-I-E-N-E. Another weird one. It has another extra E. All right, so don't forget that other E on the end. But again, it is I before E because it's not after a C and it's not sounding like A. So it's H-Y. That's a tricky part. Don't forget that part. H-Y-G-I-E-N-E. Hygiene. And it means cleanliness. C-L-E-A-N. So you got the word clean. L-I from cleanly, but they changed the Y to an I to add the ness. N-E-S-S. Cleanliness. Do that one more time. C-L-E-A-N-L-I-N-E-S-S. Cleanliness. All right, next word is shriek. S-H-R. Shriek. You hear that R? S-H-R-I-E-K. Shriek. Again, it's I before E because it's not after a C and it's not sounding like A. Shriek. S-H-R-I-E-K, and it means a scream. A for S-C-R-E-A-M. A scream. Okay? And the last word is the one that does not follow the rule. It is the exception to the rule. Okay? You've got to remember this word is an exception to the rule. It does not follow the rule. Because even though it is not following a C and it's not sounding like A, it is the word leisure. Okay? And so it is L-E-I-S-U-R-E. Leisure. There are some places where they do pronounce it leisure. Okay? But we don't. We pronounce it leisure, but we still spell it L-E-I-S-U-R-E. Leisure. Okay? And it means free time. F-R-E-E-T-I-M-E. Free time. Okay? All right, that is it. Make sure you write your words. Please make sure you're using wide rule notebook paper. If you do not have wide rule notebook paper at home, you need to get some or take some from school back home again. But wide rule notebook paper is what you're supposed to be using. All right, thank you, and I'll see you for math next.